I bought the mop, but initially after trying it for the very first time, this was going to be a hate video. I did not like it, but after giving it a second chance and tweaking a couple of different things, I'm gonna let you in on a few tips and tricks. Is it worth purchasing if you already have the Ocedar mop? A few flawed designs in my opinion, which we'll get to in a few minutes. And also at the end, if you want to know how to use cleaner water to mop your floors, but you don't want to invest in the new system of the Ocedar Spin Bucket mop, I'm going to show you a super cheap way to achieve the same results. If you've seen my Ocedar Spin Bucket mop versus the Swiffer Wet Jet mop, you know that I love me a good clean floor. But one of the biggest problems that I had with the Ocedar Spin Bucket mop is that you're constantly dipping your mop back into dirty water. Well, it sounds like Ocedar listened to the people and they created a whole new system, which I have right here, which combines two separate reservoirs for clean water and for dirty water, so you're never putting your mop back into the same dirty water with which you just washed the floor with. And also at the end, I'm going to talk about how you can achieve the same exact results without going out and buying the bucket mop system if you don't want to. Now, as always, before I continue, if you could give this video a big thumbs up, I would appreciate it. It helps to get this out and it justifies me spending money on all the stuff that I'm buying. This is called the Easy Ring Rinse Clean Microfiber Spin Mop System. It says that it has continuously clean water. The entire kit is $44.95 at Target. It's slightly more at places like Lowe's and Home Depot. I've noticed that not every store sells these because they are fairly new. So the whole system comes, of course, with the mop, bucket, and the handle. Basically everything to get started to wash your floors. So in order to get started, you basically take the clean water tank from the bucket, which is that blue color, and there's a reservoir where you put in clean water. The one thing that I noticed, and the biggest mistake that I made, was that I did not put enough water into the clean water tank, and this makes a huge difference, and I'm going to tell you why. So you fill up that hole with the clean water, and then I also add a solution, cleaning solution of choice. That's completely up to you. You could also use bleach if you wanted to, whatever you prefer to clean your floors. Then you're going to put the little blue lid back on, and you want to make sure that before you start cleaning, that little red lever is closed, because as soon as you open it, the clean water will start pouring out. So once you have that reservoir really like full to the brim, add your cleaning solution, you are basically ready to go and to mop. So you put your mop into the clean water, and you will notice that once your mop is dry, it will initially absorb a ton of water. But what that red lever does, as soon as it's open, it's continuously letting water flow in there. So you're having a stream of clean water as you need it. So then you wring it out, and you would, go and mop your floors as usual, and then you go and you wring it out, and then basically you're taking the dirty water, it gets collected at the bottom, and then you have more clean water, considering the fact that your mop head is slightly dirty, but you're not putting it back into dirty water. So you have clean water. Everything remains the same essentially for mopping as the original Ocedar Spin Bucket mop. The only difference is you have two different chambers with clean water. Here is where things got tricky and where I was completely unhappy. Even the second time, when I completely filled up the reservoir of clean water to the brim, I ran out of clean water halfway through the mopping process. So if you have a whole floor or a whole house that you're mopping, you're gonna have to refill 2 times, I would say, maybe even 3 times, because what happens is your brush head is absorbing a lot of water, and every time you go back in to spin it dry, you're losing all of that water, and the mop head is becoming dry again. So once again, you're going back into the clean water and you're soaking it all up again. And so I ran out of clean water very quickly. The very first time, immediately, like a couple spins, but that was my fault. So I ended up making sure that the whole reservoir was super full, and once I did that, it did last me longer, but I still had to refill with clean water halfway through the process. Now, the second issue that I had with this system, the little area or the bucket where you put your mop to spin it out is significantly smaller than the original size of the Ocedar Spin Mop. So your mop head is kind of, you almost have to like wiggle it around to really get it securely in there to spin all those fibers around. And sometimes I found that the whole head had difficulty fitting into that little tiny area. So in terms of that, I felt like they could have made it a little bit bigger so you can just stick the mop head in there quickly, and as you press on the pedal, it spins it all around. I did find that an annoyance, honestly, because I feel like it's, you know, once the water's there, the mop head expands, and then you have this tiny little area of where you have to fit that whole head into, and sometimes it was just a little wobbly and wonky. So those are my two issues that I did have with it. Now, I did go ahead and experiment with the original Ocedar Spin Bucket, and then I used this Ocedar continuous clean water system. I used the original Spin Bucket mop for half of a kitchen floor and half of a bathroom floor, and then I also used the new continuous rinse clean system for the other half of the kitchen and the other half of the bathroom. And then I compared the water and how dirty it was with both systems. So as you can see here, I am doing the new rinse clean system here. This is in my bathroom floor, and I'm just doing it, you know, as usual. I poured in my solution. We're good to go. This time I made sure that everything was completely full to the brim. The other cool thing is that you're constantly having clean water that's being poured out as soon as you take that red lever. And then the other cool thing is that the water is actually being kept warm for longer, because I like to wash with hot water, and because it's kept in this little blue tank, it's not open to air completely, so it stays warmer or hotter for a longer period of time. So I did that, and then I also went upstairs and I did half of my kitchen floor. Now here I have the dirty bucket water. So this is the stuff that's being wrung out from the mop as I'm mopping. You can tell here it's actually not too bad, considering that this is an area that is heavily trafficked. This is an area where there's a lot of foot traffic, so considering that, this was actually not terrible. So here's the water being poured out. Now, similarly, I did the very same thing using the original Ocedar Spin Bucket Mop system, where I just have one tank for the water, dirty, clean, whatever, it all goes into one. Same thing, I took it here. I have the same cleaning solution. Everything is identical. And this is a clean mop head that I'm putting on here for all fairness. And so here we go. I'm going to do half of the remainder of the bathroom floor, and then I also did the upstairs kitchen as well. Now here is the comparison of the water. You can tell that with this system, the water is significantly more cloudy, more dirty. There's not much of the yellow solution as there is the brown, you know, dirt. And so what you are doing is you're constantly dipping it back into the dirty water. Does it make a huge difference at the end of the day? I don't know, but I do know that it makes me feel a lot better that I am using cleaner water. And funny enough, the end product is also dirtier, even though it's the same exact floor, which I thought was very interesting. Now here's the thing, if you want to have the similar system, but you don't want to go spend $45, $50 on a new system when you already have a perfectly good spin mop at home, what you can do is take a regular bucket like I have here. I have my bucket with the clean water and the cleaning solution, and I just set it right next to where the wringing out system is. Just put it right on top, and then I take my mop head, and every time I go in to dunk it into clean water, I wash the floor, and then before I dunk it back into the clean water, I wring it out really well just to make sure to get all of that excess like dirty water out, and then it goes back into the clean bucket. I find that this is a very comparable, very similar system, and you don't have to go and pay extra money to get the same results, in my opinion. And the good thing is you're not running out of water halfway through, or if you are, it's a lot easier to refill a bucket than it is to take out this blue system, put it back into the sink. If I had to choose over buying the original Ocedar Spin Bucket or this new rinse clean system, I would go with the rinse clean. Honestly, it performed better. It was more convenient. It had, you know, cool bells and whistles and all of that, and I felt like it did a better job in terms of keeping your clean water reservoir clean, and your mop head is being absorbed with clean fresh water every single pass. So that was great. But if you already have the original Spin Bucket mop system, I do not think that this is a necessity. I really don't. I think you could easily take a regular bucket, put it next to your spinner, and you could achieve essentially the same results. It did take me a while to actually like this system because of just kind of figuring out the little new nuances, but overall I think it's a great product. I would use it. 100% this does a better job than any Swiffer or any of those little microfiber push cloths, because you're using clean water. You can add a cleaning solution to it, and it's overall, it's going to give you a better deep clean in your home. But is this a necessity if you already have the original? Probably not, but I do love it. I'm going to continue using it, and I hope that this video was helpful to you in deciding whether you want to pick one up or not today. They are selling out fast, I will say, because they did go a little bit viral on TikTok, and when I went to my Target, this was the last one in stock. So just something to keep in mind. They're kind of hard to find right now, but I'm sure they'll be coming out all over the place soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys in my next one.